Good evening, again, or morning, or good night. How are we all doing? Different surroundings today. I've actually vacated from the studio. I'm in the living room because I am currently looking after 12 dogs. And anyway, that's not important. Today, I'm going to be showing you 3 tips for 808s to make them more interesting. So basically, I'm just going to show you like 3 little go-to things that I put into my 808 patterns that kind of, you know, makes them more catchy and more memorable. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. So we got this beat right here. It's kind of a full beat. I just quickly made this right now. Oh, do you know what? I know you'd lag. Okay, so there's the beat. Now the first thing that I can do, or the first thing that I would do, is I would add like a kind of triplet effect at the end of like every 8 bar or 16 bar. Completely depends on like the tempo of the beat and, you know, what kind of vibe you're going for. But I just kind of see if it sounds decent. So what I do is come to the end of my 8 bar right here. Shush. So I'd come right down to the end. My God, I knew this was going to happen. You can always hear them in the videos, right? I'm in here and it's going to be even louder. So you're going to have to deal with it. Well, I'm going to have to deal with it. But yeah, so come right to the end of your 8 bar. And this sort of last bar right here, this end is where you're going to put the triplet in. So, you know, it's actually scrap that. To be fair, it can be like after the clap and anywhere between the clap and the end of the bar. So like anywhere between here, you can add this triplet effect in. So if you haven't already got it mapped in at a 3rd step, then just come up here to this little magnet and click on the 3rd step. It just makes life a lot easier. So yeah, once you've done that, then you're just gonna add in your like little triplet. 1, 2. Okay, so something like that looks pretty good. So when you play the beat, okay, so that sounds okay. Maybe I'd knock this up an octave. So just hit Control and up. See how that sounds. Yeah, but I think maybe down here sounds a little bit better. So I'll just leave it how it was. So that's the first thing that you can do. So that triplet effect just gives it like an extra bit of bounce, you know, especially at the end of a bar where you need to have something, you know, bringing it over nicely to the next section. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I do is, so if you take a look at like this, you know, the gaps between these 2 keys, it's quite long. So you might want to have the 808 hit like a couple more times just before it goes up to that key. So what I do is just add maybe 1 or 2 extra hits before the beat goes up to A. So it goes from C right up to A. So I'm just going to add a couple of chops in like here between this little section here. And yeah, see how that sounds. So just shorten that. Just bring that up to D. So it sounds like it's going upwards. Okay, see how that sounds. Okay, that sounds good. So I just need like 1 little note right here. And what you can do as well as like a little side tip for this part is if you want to just have it like a little bit more choppy, is just come to your 808. Shut up! Is come to your 808 over here, come to this box, come to this 2nd tab, drag the attack down, drag the hold up, drag the decay down, the sustain down, and the release down, and then come back to your pattern. And so like whenever you play the 808 and release it, it'll stop as soon as you release it, instead of like the whole sample playing. It stops as soon as I let go. You see? So I'm going to shorten this. Hey, that sounds pretty cool. So as you can see, like a bit more of like a unique feel to it. It doesn't sound like so generic, you know the normal stuff we're like used to. So that sounds pretty cool, a little bit different. So yeah, that's tip number 3. And tip number 2 again comes towards the end of the full loop. So when you're up here, and this only really applies if you have like a high note or like a huge gap between first note right here and the last note at the end. For me, it's not that big of a gap, so I probably wouldn't do it for this beat. But let's say, for example, the 808 was like the last note of my 808's was an A and my first note was C, so there's quite a big gap. Then you can add a slide, which basically means that like the 808 will like play and then kind of like drift downwards into the first note again. So the way you can do that is you come up to the last note. So my A's right here. You want to draw another note in like a half step just before it. So like halfway between these two bars. Double click it and click this button here. That's the slide button. So that means that the note is going to slide from C up to A. So make sure that's highlighted. Click OK and shorten it to whatever you like. Play it. See how it sounds. Okay, that sounds okay. It's a little bit so what I'm going to do is instead of it sliding up to A, I want to slide it back down to the root note at C. After this hits, it's going to slide down to C. There you go, that sounds better. Boom. So that's if you have like a massive gap between the first note and the last note right here. So you just literally need to add one key in, or the root note of the whole thing. So like that's the root note, just draw that in at the end, and yeah, you're good to go. So anywhere around here is cool. And yeah, that is all 3 tips. I just wanted to throw a quick, short, snappy, useful tutorial for you guys, something that hopefully can help a lot of you. So you can help me out by hitting that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. And yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one.